and guests. It is now 3 p.m. here in Malaysia and 7 p.m. in New Zealand. I am Eugene Hill, or you can just call me Hugh. And I will be your Assistant Sergeant at Arms for this meeting. Before we start, there's a few house rules I want to announce. The first one is to minimize audio disruption. So mute your mic whenever you are not speaking. This is to minimize background noises. Number two, to avoid speaking when another speaker is speaking. Third one would be silence any of your nearby devices. Next is to turn on your video. This is to encourage your online presence.
Is it not?
Next, number 5 is you may speak on any topic, but please be tactful and be respectful when speaking on sensitive matters. Number 6, if you wish to congratulate the speaker while the session is going on, you may type it out in the chat box. Like so. Number 7, this meeting will be recorded, so just for your information. And the last one, for consistency and for the smooth flow of the meeting, only distinguished Toastmasters are addressed as such, while the rest of the Toastmasters are addressed as Toastmaster. You may refer to the program element for the individual titles of each Toastmaster. And lastly, if you have any questions, you can post it into the chat box and I'll try to answer you there. All right. With that, I would like to pass the time to the president of Talking Heads Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Anup Plapeta. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eugene, for that wonderful start. Really excited to be here today. And we have been really waiting for this joint session of Toastmasters with a Malaysian club. Can't get more fantastic than this. And if I look at the opportunity that we have before us, two clubs from Region 12, one from Malaysia and one from Aotearoa, New Zealand, participating in a joint session of Toastmasters. I think there's no better word for this evening than collaboration. Just think of the opportunities that Toastmasters opens to us. In addition to practicing public speaking skills and leadership, you get a chance to meet with people from all around the world and make friends. And as they say, the mission of Toastmasters is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment for every individual member, where every individual member gets a chance to develop their oral communication skills and leadership, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. For those of you who've been following the talk at the scores, how are Kiwis and how is Malaysia doing? Kiwis have a slight upper hand with 20 overall medals. The very talented Malaysians are a bit behind there, 2 overall, but I know Malaysia is a great country, great people, as they say, truly Asia. You know, the culture, the vibrancy, and just the positiveness of the country is amazing. And coming from an Asian country, it's always a great honor to see, meet, and talk to all of you. And I definitely look forward to some of great speeches and evaluations tonight. And I really feel sorry for anyone who might have missed this meeting from both the clubs. So before we move on to our formal section for today's evening, we have close to 26 participants today. So what your name is, what you do, and possibly an interest of yours. I'll make it very quick so that we get to know each other. Can I start? I don't know if I've missed any, but I'll just start with myself just to make it simpler. So my name is Anup. I'm at Spark here, and I've been with Toastmasters more than 2 years now. I got an opportunity to be the president of this club for this Toastmasters year. I'm really, really excited to be a part of this meeting. I now pass the baton to Morgan. Morgan, you want to just give it a go?
Thank you, Anup. Kia ora koutou. My name is Morgan. I'm a born and bred New Zealander. I joined Talking Heads a couple of years ago, and I am now the Vice President Education for Talking Heads. Who's up next, Anup?
Can we go, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, do you want to give it a go?
Yes, sure. Good evening and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Elizabeth. I've been a member of Talking Heads for quite some time now, and absolutely loving the opportunity to meet with everybody from Kota Kinabalu this afternoon. I hope along the way I might learn a little bit of a few phrases maybe in Malaysian. Looking forward to hearing you speak and introduce yourselves.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I think most of you know Dean. Maggie, do you want to just give it a quick one?
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Nice to see you all. I'm a member of Talking Heads. Currently, I'm the Vice President for membership. So any friends from Malaysia, if you like to join Talking Heads, welcome to contact me. Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's enjoy tonight.
Yeah. We have got Julian, and then in the interest of time, go over next. But Julian,
oh, do you want me to do an introduction as well?
Give it a
Yeah, hi everyone. I just joined Talking Heads just a couple of weeks ago, but seems like a great club, so I'm really happy to be here. And as you can see behind me, we're running a bit short on time.
President Anup, are you there yet?
Looks like he's cut out. President Melody, do you want to just move us on?
Okay, sure. So for the time being now, I would like to introduce myself briefly. I'm Melody Lee from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. And I would like to introduce my team as well. We have Kaisa, our Vice President Membership. Yeah, if you turn on the view as gallery, then you can see her. Okay, this is Kaisa. And we have Winnee, the Vice President of Education. Plus, we have Hafizul. He is actually the one who actually brings two clubs together. He's the committee member of the term. And she's the one who connected Dean. And that's how we have this joint meeting today. Plus, last but not least, we have our watcher, Anita. She is the immediate past president and also now our area director of the term. Plus, there is another person that I think many people would know. She's Joanna. Joanna will be the January violator later on. Plus, this is someone that I should not miss. She is, oh no, this is he. He has been in our club since the chartering time, and he's none other than our distinguished Toastmaster, Abu Bakar. He is now the honorary member of the club and also the club advisor. So that's all for the brief introduction from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. I think we can move on to the main highlight of the meeting. So I should introduce Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Dean, to take the mic.
A very good evening to everyone in New Zealand, and a very good afternoon to those of you who are in Kota Kinabalu. I hope you're staying well at home, and it's a privilege for me to be your Toastmaster today. Now, just to warm everybody up, I'm just going to do a nice and simple ice-breaking game. You might have played this before. So normally you do it as a 2 truths and 1 lie, but we'll cut it short today and do 1 truth and 1 lie. So think about 2 facts or 1 true fact about yourself and 1 false fact about yourself. And then we're gonna go around and you can share it with us. I will start off and then I'll pass the baton on. My 2 points are I was a VPE, Vice President of Education for Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. And the other one is I was a Vice President of Education for Talking Heads Toastmasters Club. 1 truth and 1 lie. Melody knows this answer already, so I'll pass the baton to her. You're next, Melody. You can give us the answer and then you can share with us your 2 points.
That's an easy guess already. Okay, so, well, Dean was the Vice President of Education in Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club for a brief moment, not until the end of the term, right? So he left early 2016. So now I would like to share mine. One is I actually have a tattoo, a body tattoo. And another one is I did eye laser surgery. Yes. So which one is the truth? Truth and lie. Which one is the truth? Which one is the lie? Now I'll pass the baton to Caroline. I'd like to try.
Oh dear, that's a very hard guess.
You just muted, Caroline.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I said it's a very hard challenge, but I would go for the second one as the truth one. So am I right?
Yes, correct. I did it 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. For my 2 points, one is currently I'm in Auckland and I'm a member of Talking Heads. The other one is I'm originally from China. So I would like to pass on to whom? Oh, it's very hard to say. Hold on a moment. I will choose Water.
Oh. No.
Anita, is that right? ANITA. Our water, right? Anta, okay. Anta.
Yeah, sorry, I had to spotlight myself. So I think I'm gonna guess and say that the first one was a lie. All right.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so my 1 truth and 1 lie is I love durians and I love kiwis. And I will pass the virtual floor to our table topics evaluator, Hui Ling.
Hi everyone, good evening, fellow Toastmaster. I think you love durian, that's the truth, because all Malaysians should love durian. No, I thought combination. But why do you like kiwi? It's a bird. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, but I thought all the Malaysians are fond of the food, so everyone just love food. Okay, the first one got it wrong because I love durian, so I thought that everyone should love durian. Let me have 2 facts for you to guess. The first one is I'm originally from I was born in Perak, and the second one was I was born in Malacca. I would like to pass to Priscilla Fong.
Hi, everybody. So I thought I heard it correctly just now. You are from Perak, right? You're born in Perak. So
Yes.
that's the truth. All right. So 2 facts from me is I climbed Mount Kinabalu. If you guys know about Mount Kinabalu, right? That's the highest mountain, right, in Southeast Asia. Is that correct? I climbed Mount Kinabalu twice, and the second one is I never climbed Mount Kinabalu. So I'll pass the floor to Zubin. Oh, Dean, what? How are you?
Sorry, I'm just gonna jump in here because we are out of time for the introductions. So I'm just gonna make that guess and say you've climbed Mount Kinabalu twice.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, thank you, everyone. Hopefully that broke some ice and we got to know a bit about each other a little bit more. Now I will invite a Toastmaster from Talking Heads to give us the word of the evening, our grammarian for tonight, Elizabeth Hughes.
Good evening to Toastmasters in New Zealand as well as Toastmasters in Kota Kinabalu. I chose the word of collaboration for this evening's meeting. When Dean let me know I was going to be grammarian, it was actually a pretty straightforward choice because I thought of collaboration. I looked in the thesaurus to see what other words sounded like or meant collaboration, and I thought, no, let's just stick with something simple. Collaboration feels very appropriate for this evening's meeting. And as you can see, it's all about working with another person or a group of people to create or produce something. And that might be at work, that might be with your family, that might be with your friends. I'm a passionate believer in collaboration, and collaboration, I think, goes a long way in life, whatever situation you are in, and really enjoying the collaboration that I can already see happening here online this evening. So I'm going to look forward to hearing you use that word, and I'm also going to take some notes and think about the things that people say or the phrases or the words that people use that I particularly enjoy. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, grammarian Elizabeth. A very good choice of word of the day. I definitely agree. We had a chat yesterday talking about how Talking Heads haven't even collaborated with the other council club that meets in the same building. So this is definitely a good start of our collaboration journey. So moving on to our prepared speeches for tonight. Our first speaker tonight is doing the researching and presenting project from the Innovative Planning Pathway. And the evaluator for our first speaker is Caroline Chi. So the first speaker is from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. And it's none other than Munira Malik with a speech title, Make It Stick. Make It Stick, Munira Malik.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment while I share my screen. Have you ever tried something and failed miserably at it? Have you ever tried the same thing and failed multiple times at it? That's me, by the way, in red, saying hello from the side of Mount Kinabalu. I was conquering my fear of heights with the collaboration of bravado and complete faith in that rope right there. The story that I would like to share with you today is about me conquering my fear of failure. As a surgical resident in Queen Elizabeth Hospital, the bane of my existence is membership to the Royal College of Surgeons, UK. This is a two-part exam where each candidate is allowed a maximum of 6 attempts for the first part. The first part is a written exam that consists of 300 questions divided into 2 papers over a span of 5 hours with 30-minute break in between. It's a cerebral marathon. Imagine, I have only less than 1 minute to answer each question. Now, let's have a look at how I fared thus far. I first attempted the examination fresh out of medical school. I only managed to fare 50%. I thought, all right, I'll try again a few months later. However, I was only able to improve my scores by 9.9%. I thought maybe I was too young taking the exam. Maybe I needed some work experience to do better. So then in 2018, I attempted again. However, I was only able to score 60.5%. I felt, what was wrong with me? I was drowning in anguish and misery. Was I not good enough? I've made it this far. Am I not smart enough? As I was feeling sorry for myself, I started to journal and listed down the things that I needed to overcome. Build a stronger mindset, get over past results, improve focus, rediscover my passion for learning, and balance out things I want to learn versus need to learn. I realized that the process, a bucket of chicken and 1 pint of ice cream later, I was ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work to find the best way to make the knowledge stick. In other words, I needed to relearn how to learn. Learning starts with reading. I needed to learn how to read effectively. Reading a textbook shouldn't be cover to cover like how I would a novel. I used a top-down method or chunk the material together. I made a list of things that I didn't understand about the subject or the things that I wanted to find out and learn from my reading. I realized that by having a curious mind while I read helped me to maintain my focus and help the knowledge stick better. Once I'm done, I'll close the book and try to recite what I've learned back to myself. This is what we call active recall. The biggest hurdle to change is procrastination. Aren't we all guilty of this? I found a way to counter this problem. It's called the Pomodoro technique. Originally, a tomato-shaped timer was used. Set it to 25 minutes, and once the time is up, you've earned yourself a 5 to 10 minute break. The rule here is within that 25 minutes, no distractions are allowed, no phones, only deep work. Don't skip that 5 or 10 minutes break. This is when your brain is trying to reset to consolidate the new knowledge that you've learned. Next is grilling. The best method to test your comprehension is by doing practice questions. In my initial in my initial journey, I found it quite demotivating when I saw that my mock test scores weren't as great. It's okay. The point here is to do as many practice questions as possible so as you get familiarized with the exam style. Practice makes permanent. In this case, it is all about spaced repetition. So finally here, we go on to the exams. With all that preparation done, just calm yourself down and do your best for the exam. Once I'm done, I took a stroll along the beach here and just enjoyed the sunset of Kota Kinabalu. Now, let's see if my advice holds water. Remember my past results? So last year, September 2020, I tried to sit for the exam again. I scored 229 over 299. This was the best that I've gotten before. However, the passing score was 230, which meant that I was 1 mark short. Good God. But guess what? By having a renewed approach to learning, I thoroughly enjoyed the process. At least now I know that I'm on the right track. Regular assessments are the backbone to career advancements everywhere. Mastering how to study effectively is the ultimate life skill to have if we want to succeed in this life. So let's recap. Read effectively by having a curious mind. Pomodoro to combat procrastination, and practice makes permanent. Perhaps the collaboration of these ideas will give you the results that you desire. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Anita. Wow, I wish I had those tips when I was in high school. I would have passed more papers, I think. Next up, we have Morgan Dolphin from Talking Heads Toastmasters to give a prepared speech. And Morgan is doing Knowing Your Sense of Humor project from his Engaging Humor Path. And his evaluator for tonight is Chuan Zhiwen. So let us welcome Morgan Dolphin with his speech titled The Many Mistakes of Morgan. The Many Mistakes of Morgan, Morgan Dolphin.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters from Talking Heads Toastmasters Club. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. In New Zealand, we have this stuff. We have Weet-Bix and we have Big Burly Rugby players, but I'm talking about the Weet-Bix. Weet-Bix are these weird, like wheaty crackers, and I eat them with my breakfast. I have them with milk. Occasionally, I will be having an especially difficult morning. I'll wake up, put my Weet-Bix in the bowl, go to pour my milk, and whoop, I'll miss. In that moment, my world ends completely. You do not want to know me. I am angry. I am a mess. From one little mistake that's ultimately pretty easy to just clean up, right? We all make mistakes every single day of our lives, and mistakes are a blessing. They're something to learn from. A really good way to look at our mistakes is something to learn from, to develop a positive relationship with our mistakes, is to be able to laugh at them. Therefore, today, I'm going to ask you all to collaborate with me by laughing at a few of the mistakes I have made, so that we may all together learn to laugh at our own mistakes. My very first mistake happened a few years ago, not in my life, in the speech, happened a few years ago in my university dorms. I was in the shower, showering away, doing whatever you do in the shower, and the fire alarm goes off. Woo, 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 woo. Evacuate the building via the nearest fire exit. Now, I'm a bit of a goody two-shoes, okay? So we're going to go through my possible options here. 1, did I take the time to dry off and get dressed before exiting the building via the nearest fire exit? No. Did I at least take the time to dry off the important parts so that I could be modest before I left the building via the nearest fire exit? Unfortunately not. What I instead did was I grabbed my towel, wrapped it around myself, and left the building via the nearest fire exit. I was determined to get out of there in a calm, orderly, and fast fashion. I very quickly learned the seriousness of my mistake when I walked out into the assembly area, butt naked, except for a towel, in front of all 200 of my fellows from the dorm. Suffice it to say, I was severely embarrassed. And in that moment, I really did learn the severity of my mistake. However, for this particular mistake, it did not take long before I realized how amazing it was, before I was laughing at the mistake in the moment. Because when else was I ever going to have the chance to walk around Auckland City, mostly unclothed, with a good reason? Never. And of course, it was going to make a fantastic story to tell to a Toastmasters club from Malaysia in 3 years' time. So what did I learn from this mistake? Next time, I'm probably going to take the time to get modest before I get out of the shower. Better not leave it to chance. But also, sometimes even the stupidest things can help you create great stories. Our second mistake is a little bit more serious, a little bit more personal, and a little bit more recent. And it requires a little bit of context. The way romance works for all of us depends on the social circles we move in and our kind of cultural background. For me, it's really easy, right? If I see someone I am interested in romantically, I walk up to them, I say, hello, would you like to go on a date with me? Easy, right? Super easy. Probably the easiest it can be. Except, despite that, sometimes it is not. And yours truly has an abysmal track record. So about a month ago, this person caught my eye. And I was like, I'm going to ask this person out on a date. But I thought I was going to be clever about it. So rather than doing the norm thing and talking to them directly about it, I thought I would be chivalrous and write them a note. So one morning I wrote out this very heartfelt but succinct, I promise, note to give to this girl to ask her out on a date. I then spent the entire day messaging away, trying to get a good time to meet up with her so I could give her my little letter. Finally, at the very end of the day, we had found the time and we had coffee outside of her workplace. We talked for over an hour and it was fantastic. It was amazing. Did I take this opportunity to make up for the mistake I was about to make and actually tell her, hey, this is kind of like a date. Would you like to go on a date with me? You should know the person talking to you good enough by now to know that. No, I did not do that. I sat there, note burning a hole in my pocket, waiting for my opportunity. This conversation was so date-like that the people at the cafe grabbed a candle and put it down on the table between us. My eyes nearly popped out of my skull. Even so, I didn't do anything. Afterwards, as we were leaving, I grabbed my note, shoved it in her hand, and I ran. Seriously, I was out of there. I could not handle it. And you already know how the story ends. She wasn't interested. Very sad. I learned this 3 days later when she was finally able to get a hold of me, and I was destroyed. I was unlivable. I will never be loved. Nothing ever works out for me. It was awful. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because it's funny, right? But a month ago, Morgan would be very disappointed in me. He'd be very embarrassed. But truthfully, there is a part of all of us that is the small, socially awkward doesn't know what to do creature who does stuff like give a girl a note to ask her out after talking to her for an hour and having that complete opportunity to do so. There's always a part of us that when we make the tiniest mistake feels like the world has ended. And that is why I think it is really important to be able to look back once the storm has passed at our mistakes and be able to say, hey, that was pretty funny. Because we end up in a really comfortable relationship with our mistakes, and it allows us to learn from them. From this mistake, I learned that next time I ask a girl out on a date, I am not going to treat it like a database query, and I'm actually going to treat her like a real human being. Mistakes are important. Let's laugh at them and learn from them. Back to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you, Morgan, for your speech. And just for everyone's info, I went to Morgan's birthday recently, last month, and his mom got his naked photo with a towel and showed it to everyone at the birthday party. It was huge. And Morgan, I'll tell you what, next time maybe you should just start with that photo when you meet some other girl that might work better. Cool. Our next item on the agenda is doing a polling for an outstanding speaker. So I believe our Zoom master will be able to run the poll, or President Melody or someone. President Melody, I think. Here we go. Should have a poll in front of you. You can pick your favorite speaker, and is that announced towards the end, Madam President, or do we go through it now?
Keep it a secret now, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Awesome. And then we also have to do a group photo. So is that just...
yeah,
so,
Nadia, Vice President of Public Relations, Nadia will be doing that now.
Okay, great. Do we need to do anything? Like, do we need to pose, or do we need to, or do you just all just smile and look at the camera?
Need to smile. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold on, it's another page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks, Nadia. There's even a sound effect. I thought it was like a screenshot from the computer. It's actually a camera. And that is the item that I have. Now we will move on to the exciting part, the next exciting part of our meeting, the table topic session. So let us invite our table topic master from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club today, Muhammad Hafizul Muhammad Said. So welcome, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, distinguished Toastmaster Dean Yi. Kia ora to all the talking heads, and salam sejahtera to all Malaysians here. Yeah, I'll try a little bit, just a simple Google would do. Okay, now that I know most of you familiar with table topic sessions, but today I'll be doing something involving collaboration between all of you and myself. So my session will be divided by 2 sections. So the first 4 questions are set by me. So it's a fixed question, and you just have to volunteer to answer the question. And the last 4 questions will be decided by all of you. And how are you going to decide that is, if you can see on my screen right now, just log on to menti.com and use the code 4739 on your phone right now, 7216. So while we're answering all those 4 questions, then we will get the result later on, and we will go ahead with whatever top 4 choices that we have. Are you all clear? All right. Okay. I hope you guys start rating right now because I'm going to move the slide. So for the first question, that I have is, I would like a Malaysian here to answer this question. I would like to visit New Zealand because it's very simple. So any volunteer from KKTMC?
I'm interested to answer.
All right, not a Malaysian, but KKTMC member. Go ahead, off you go.
I'm not from New Zealand, so that counts, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I would like to visit New Zealand because I love a certain film that was made there. And no, it is not the famous Lord of the Rings, which of course has tons of tourism, I think. It's actually the movie The Piano that I used to watch over and over again when I was a teenager because my mom had it on DVD. And it's this beautiful movie showcasing the hills and the ocean. I'm not sure exactly which part of New Zealand it is, but ever since I saw that movie as a teenager, I just would love to visit New Zealand and see the beautiful nature. I'm quite obsessed with mountains because I come from a part of Sweden that has no mountains whatsoever. It's completely flat, just fields and fields and fields. That's also something I love about Kota Kinabalu, where I've lived for 4 years now. I love going to the mountains here. It's my favorite part, even more than seeing the ocean. I just love mountains. And I think New Zealand has some gorgeous hills and mountains too. That is something I would love to see. And that is why I would like to visit New Zealand, and hopefully I can find even more reasons to go, especially if you guys share something new with me this evening. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening. Happy's. I mean, table topics master of the evening. Happy's.
Thank you very much, Kaisa. I was waiting for you to say something along the line of, oh, Lord of the Rings, Hobbits, because these are all the typical things that people refer to when they talk about, endearingly talk about New Zealand. So, of course, I asked you guys, what would you like, why would you like to go to New Zealand? And the other questions is maybe for the New Zealanders. I would like to visit Malaysia because any one of you would like to attempt to answer. I'm sure you know a little bit about Malaysia, maybe, I guess. Beautiful islands, white sand beaches. Basically, you can say exactly for the whole ASEAN, like you can say about the same about Thailand or Indonesia, perhaps.
I would love to answer, but I already spoke. So
since we don't have anyone else, so all right, off you go, Morgan.
All right. Thank you very much, Hafiz. Good evening again, and good afternoon again, everybody. I would love to visit Malaysia for 2 reasons. The first reason is I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page on my second screen right now for Mount Kinabalu. Looks amazing, fantastic, awesome. I would love to come see you folks in Kota Kinabalu and get myself up that mountain. Though New Zealand is quite a mountainous country, we do not have such magnificent peaks as you have over there. The second reason comes with a little bit of a story. I study chemical engineering, and there are a lot of people in my class from Malaysia. One of them, who I've been talking to recently, she told me that when she first arrived at Auckland Airport, she was severely disappointed because compared to Malaysia's grand big cities, Auckland's a little bit of a backwater, and I can totally understand that. So the other reason I would love to go to Malaysia would be to see the big smoke Kuala Lumpur, to see a real, actual big city with everything that entails and immerse myself in that, which is, again, another thing we don't really have in New Zealand. So I would like to visit Malaysia for 2 reasons. First, your fantastic Mount Kinabalu, and second, perhaps your amazing, huge city, Kuala Lumpur. both of which will provide me opportunities I would never be able, provide me experiences I would never be able to find here in Aotearoa. Back to you, Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Yeah, definitely, there's always something, the grass is always green on the other side, people might say. Okay, moving on to the next question that I have is a quote by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. So what are your thoughts on this quote by Henry Ford? Any volunteers? These are open, obviously, to anyone.
Can I try it?
Definitely Kevin Chiu. Okay, off you go.
Okay. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yeah, I still don't understand even if I say it like 100 times. So here's what I think. I think you should try to do everything that you possibly can do. Try playing basketball or playing ping pong. No one cares if you lose, except for the audience. They will laugh at you, obviously. So if you're going to do something, you have to expect that you will fail at doing it, or be surprised when you succeed at doing it without a lot of effort. But what you experience at that point is only the tip of the iceberg. What you should be looking at is what goes beyond the activities you've done. If you only learn science, then you haven't learned anything else, like what the language that responds to science or what science has done for the earth. What I'm saying is you can do everything you can. You can do everything you want, and you'll always be doing it the right way, your own way, and everyone will judge whether or not you are correct. David, I still don't understand this quote, even if I say it myself. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I think Henry Ford himself didn't understand what he was talking about, because no one knows what they were talking about because he said such things, right? So moving on to the next question that I have here before we go to your selected questions is, this is a recent event, 100 meters final in the Olympic Tokyo 2020. And imagine if you are an Olympic TV commentator, just 2 minutes, how hard can it be? So please, volunteer yourself. Anyone from the audience? Don't look away from your camera because I can still use my veto power to call you out. Maybe. I'm not a fan of wasting time. Shall I invite Anita Nararaja to entertain us with her commentary? Anita, you there?
Yes, Hafiz. I'm just trying to spotlight myself, but I can't find myself, so it's okay. So a commentary on what I'm seeing is this guy is from Italy, right? Was it Jacobs? Yeah. Okay, so today is the last day of the Olympics, and I think the athletics event, the track and field event, took place about a week ago, I think. And this guy, if I'm not mistaken, he set the new world record, right? Or did he not? I'm not sure. 9 seconds something. So, do you want? This is hard. So he looks like he's trained. So I'm going to quote Usain Bolt on this one, right? He says he trained 4 years to run 9 seconds. A lot of people give up. No, I'm just going to quote him, right? Damn. He trained 4 years to run 9 seconds. A lot of people give up in 2 months, right? So how long do you think Jacobs trained to win the gold medal in this Olympics, how many of us have tried to run our bestest, our fastest, our furthest, and be the strongest that we can be? So hopefully we can take some lesson from this guy and do our best. So may we all win gold medals in our lives. Back to you, Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Anita, for saving the day for the rest of us. Thank you. Also, I think you are qualified to apply for the job for the next Paris 2024 to commentate some of the sports there. All right, moving on. Let's see. What are the questions that you guys have voted? If you cannot vote just now, maybe you can do while we check out the first question that we have here. So I think with the highest mark is 39.9 is no 4 now. What is the most outdated piece of tech you still use regularly? Anyone? Any typewriter lying around? I don't know. VHS player, maybe? Anyone? Kantos, would you like to answer?
Damn, girl. Kiwis.
Okay. May I have Ejin to answer the question, please?
Right. Good evening, Malaysians. Good afternoon, New Zealanders. What is the most outdated tech I'm using? I was just looking across my desk. Here we go. It's an iPhone 4. It's back in 2006, 2005, 2006. So it's about 14 years old now. And I still use it mainly because it holds my some of my journals and some of my old photos back then. So I'm still using it just as like a time capsule. So anything if I want to look back for nostalgic reasons or any of my old passwords that I need to refer to, it's in here. So this is one of the oldest piece of technology that I'm still using today. And surprisingly, it still functions well. As long as it's charged, I can still turn it on and still use it. Even though now it couldn't connect to the internet because it's outdated, all the firmware and the software supporting Wi-Fi and security protocols, those are all outdated, but I can still use it and access the things, my old things. So yes, an iPhone 4. This is my oldest piece of technology that I'm using now. Back to you. Table Topics Master Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Ejin Hugh. Oh my God, iPhone 4. In some of the part of the world, that is considered a relic. So you want to keep on holding on to that very, very well. So next question that we got with a scoring of, we have a tie. So 3.62. I'm going to go with the first one. Is love selfish attachment or selfless devotion? Something very romantic. We already had a very funny romantic story today. So how about we'll see the other side of a romantic story, perhaps. Any volunteer before I use my veto power? May I would like to call upon Maggie Lee to attempt to answer the question. Maggie, are you there?
Yes, okay.
Off you go.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. So I have a question. So is love selfish attachments or selfless devotion? This is a question that I have been thinking for past 10 years. that finally I come out to a conclusion, which is a conclusion at this current moment, that in fact, it's a process from selfish attachment to selfless devotion. We think about when we were a child, we know nothing about love. All we know is that mom feed us, mom take care of us, mom clean us, mom do everything for us. Then we have the attachment to mom. Mom belong to me, I belong to mom. So that's all as a child we learn about love. And then later on, we gradually become teenager. We started to have some feeling, romantic feeling to another person. And then it's the chance, we first time ever to practice what is love to a person who is not your mom anymore. Some people still apply the way we treat to our mom and turn out, no, we failed. It's not the right way. The other person feel, no, I don't want to be your mom. I have my own arm. No, I don't want to be your mom. So we learn from these lessons. So what is love? How can I love the other, the one that I think I like and I love? After all the lessons and the failures that we might go through or this love journey, and we find out that the more we gave to the other person, the more love returned back to us. And then we gradually understand that maybe love is not to ask, maybe love is more to give. And this is the unconditional, selfless devotion, love. And at this stage, I learned that love is this way, unconditional love, selfless, but it's so hard. Before age of 20, all I learned was to give, to ask, I want more love. But now I have to learn how to give. It's difficult, it's a very challenge, but it's worthwhile to try. And we might get the amazing, unexpected love that we'll never can imagine. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Maggie Lee, for that answer. I hope Morgan learned a few lessons from that short TED Talks by Maggie Lee just now. All right, so moving on to the next question that I have. This is the second last question. With the highest score 3.7 is, do people really have free will? Do people really have free will? So if you have a free will to answer this question, prove it to me. Or just in simulation. So prove it to me you are not a robot, that you actually have a free will to answer this question before I use my veto. Well, I'm gonna pick Atun Aziz to answer. Atun, are you there? Hello, Atun. Atun, please unmute. Okay, what's going on here? It's I'm gonna move on to maybe President Lai. President Lai, are you there? This is the last question, by the way.
Okay.
Okay,
Which
President Lai. Okay, okay.
I am IPP already, not president.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The free will.
Yes, free will.
In my own opinion, I think some people have their own free will. The free will to do the tasks or things that they like in their life. Like like myself, for example, I put myself for example. When I was a child, all my studies, things are all given by my parents. And they set a schedule for me to study and all those things. I didn't have my own free will at that time, probably. But after I reached like around 18, my parents let me do my own things, especially in my own favorite sports, which is the bodybuilding and eating competition. At first, when I told them this is my choice of sport I'd like to do and compete in the future, at first they don't disagree. They disagree with me at first, but it took some time for me to convince them, as this is my interest I've developed all from my childhood. I don't know why I developed it, but it's the interest that I have in until now. And currently I'm still doing it. And for the, especially in the eating competition, I try to make it, to promote it among my competitive friends, where we try to make it a more recognized competition in around KK. But currently with the pandemic, we have stopped it for a year. So we hope the pandemic will be over and we will be able to conduct it again in the next, probably next year. We hope that when all the vaccination has been done. I believe people have their own free will to do the things. There are some things you can control, some are not. That's my opinion. Back to you, Table Topic Master Hafizu.
Thank you very much, IPP Live. I think the biggest takeaway from that answer is that bodybuilding and competitive eating is the best combo ever. So if you have no new hobbies and looking for one, competitive eating is right for you. I think that's all the time that I have for my session today. I hope you enjoyed my session, and thank you for voting for the questions that you actually answered. With that, back to you, Toastmaster of the evening, Dean, the Toastmaster Dean.
Thank you, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master Hafiz. Really awesome table topic session. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Now we will run another poll, and this time it is for the outstanding table topic speaker poll. So we will have President Melody to run the poll. Here we go. It should be in front of you right now. Just pick your favorite speaker. Is it Kaiser, Morgan, Lewis, Anita, Ijin, Maggie, or Lai? Cool. That should be enough time for you all to pick your choice of favorite speaker. Now we will move to correction. Table topic 3 is Kevin, not Lewis. There we go. So the third one should be Kevin. Sorry, Lewis. We'll move on now to the next item on the agenda, which is our humor master to tickle our funny bones. Let's welcome Mr. President Anup, humor master.
Thank you, Dean. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. One day, Albert Einstein, the great scientist, an Indian local, were traveling in an airplane. You know about Albert Einstein, the greatest scientific genius this world has ever seen. The plane goes on for about 30 minutes. Albert Einstein finds himself restless. He just wants to poke fun of this guy who's sitting next, who looks like a normal man. And Indians specifically are very argumentative. They like to argue about everything, anything, and sometimes nothing. And when they are arguing about nothing, it definitely is sometimes at least worth a laugh. Albert Einstein comes and then says, hey, let's try a game. You can ask me any question that you want, and if I don't answer, I'll give you $1,500. Now I'll ask you a question. And if you don't answer, you give me $50. Indian takes some time and then he quickly says, "Yay, let's go for it." And you go first, he says. Albert Einstein comes and asks, "What is the distance from the sun to the earth?" Now this guy quickly says, "I don't know." And he quickly picks $50 from his pocket and gives it to Albert Einstein. Now it's the chance for the Indian to ask Albert Einstein a question. He thinks for a minute and then asks, "What is that animal which walks up the mountain with 3 legs, but which comes down with 4? Albert Einstein gets quite nervous. An animal which walks up a mountain with 3 legs and then comes down with 4. He tries Googling, he tries browsing, he even makes calls, not able to get anything. And finally he says, "There you go, $5,000. What's the answer?" Now Indian at this point quickly gets $50 from his pocket and then gives it to Albert Einstein and says, "I don't know." Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Human Master. Anoop. Looks like you got a good reaction there from the audience. So I will move right on over to our next item on the agenda, which is our general evaluator. So I will welcome, I think she was my mentor at one point, but distinguished Toastmaster Joanna Liu, general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Dean. Yes, I was your mentor at one point. Just when I was about to do my work, you left for New Zealand. You left me. But yes, thank you very much. I've seen so much growth in you. I'm so proud of you. So now let's get on with business. I would now like to call for the report from our timer on the manual speeches and table topic session. Can I have Toastmaster Julian Bryan, please?
Sure. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It's been quite an interesting process for me actually doing this online timing, and I've been very happy to have two screens here because I've sort of got the video settings here and the timing here and the speaker down here. So I've just managed to squeeze it all in. So in terms of the times this evening, starting with our prepared speakers. Both our first speaker, Manura, and our second speaker, Morgan, did both go a little bit over time, 7 minutes 55 and 7 minutes 35, respectively. I think both were keen to wrap up and give a good conclusion, which just pushed a little bit over the allocated time. And then in terms of our table topics this evening, pretty much all of them had perfect timing in between the 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes. Just the last couple by Maggie and Lai just pushed a little bit over. So Maggie, I think, was giving us quite an important lesson and just pushed a little bit over up to 3 minutes on that one. And then Lai almost perfect, just 2 minutes 15. So I think overall really good job by everyone. Back to you, Joanna.
Thank you very much, Julian. Yes, something interesting. Maybe next round you can also write it in the chat box so that it's, everyone know what's their time and all that. All right, great job. Next, can I have, I would now like to invite our evaluator who will be giving their evaluation on our manual speaker tonight. So the first one on the lineup will be Caroline Chi. So can I have Caroline? The stage is yours.
Kia ora, everyone. Greetings from Wellington, the capital city of New Zealand. It's such a great pleasure and privilege to be the evaluator of our first speaker tonight, Manura. This is Manura's researching and presenting project. The main purpose of this project is to learn and to use some basic research methods to deliver a well-researched and organized speech. I believe everyone agrees with me that the speaker has achieved the goal in a very excellent way. So congratulations to you, Marua. I like how the speaker starts the research by telling a personal stories, showing some photos, so which is really powerful. The slides are really powerful in terms of how to use the slides to show the information. The speech content is really well researched. Particularly, I would like to commend the speaker's excellent use of a set of evidence and sources to support the key points of the speech, which makes the speech really effective, very convincing. For example, throughout the speech, we can hear different numbers, different scores, as well as different theories. For example, the top-down methods, and also the active recall and many other terms. So which really great to hear throughout the speech. When we talk about delivering a well-researched speech, it's very important to research the topic itself. Definitely, our speaker tonight has done a great job. This also brings me my commendation for the speaker tonight. So it's important. It's also very important to research the audience as well. So it would be more effective if the speaker can better connect the audience with the key information that he or she aims to deliver. If I was the speaker, I would highlight how the audience can better take away the key information. For example, how the audience can use the new learning approach in preparing a job interview or working on a project that you don't have much work experience on. Other than that, I'm really impressed by the speaker's diverse vocal variety, the body language. I can see her passion for the topic. So overall, it's really an effective and winning speech for the speaker tonight. I really appreciate how you share the story with all the audience tonight. I'm really looking forward to hear more stories from you. So back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. A big round of applause. What I like about your evaluation is you use something that is quite different from some of us. We will say as an evaluator will be, if I would like to recommend you to do this. But what I really love what you said was, if I was a speaker, that I would do this. It's something that you put yourself in the speaker's shoe, which I think this is something that some of us sometimes will not use. So this is something that we learned from you today. Thank you very much for your sharing, for your evaluation. And next, can I have our Chuan Ziwen from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club to give his evaluation for Morgan, please. Chuan Ziwen, the stage is yours.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Joanna. Firstly, I would like to announce that Morgan has met the speech objectives for his project and that I was very humoured by his speech. He's definitely an experienced speaker, as I was able to capture his words easily and clearly because it was delivered with clear vocals, complementing hand gestures, and also a very organized structure. Based on his speech manual, there are several things to bear in mind in preparing a humorous speech. Therefore, I will base my evaluation around the speech manual. Firstly, it was recommended that the topics are kept universal, and Morgan has achieved this because everyone could relate with your stories. The next things to bear in mind is to keep the timing, bear in mind about the timing of the jokes and also keeping your jokes succinct as well. There were two main points that I could grasp from your speech, from his speech, which is the first one is regarding the fire alarm. During that part, the jokes or the funny points were kept in short intervals, and I was thoroughly humored throughout that part. And then when the second part came about the romance part, I felt like the jokes were spaced out at further intervals. And actually, I was more invested into your story about whether you made it through or not, rather than focusing on the jokes on that part. Therefore, on this part, I would like to recommend that you keep up the rhythm from the first point, which was the fire alarm, where the jokes were in short intervals, and then you just bring it onwards towards the second point, which is about the date and the short message to your crush. And with regards to the second point as well, I would like to also recommend that you speak from a first-person perspective rather than a third-person perspective. In that case, we're able to relate and dive in deeper into your experience. And when you're able to shorten the intervals between the jokes, we become more invested into your story and therefore more invested into your funny points as well. I have been keeping an eye on the audience throughout the session, and they were all smiling faces. I'd like to commend you on this because this is one of your first speeches for the effective humor for the humorous pathway. And you have achieved, once again, the speech objectives for this project, which is to begin by developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. You also had a good use of hyperboles, like my world ends when my wheat bix misses the bowl. And I see the timer is now red. I'd like to close my speech by commending that you had a very good value in your speech, which is to laugh at our own mistakes. Therefore, I'd like to see more of your humorous stories next time. And congratulations for meeting the speech objective. Back to you, distinguished Toastmaster Joanna.
Thank you very much, Ziwen, for a very comprehensive evaluation. What I love about your evaluation is that you made it very clear to Morgan that he has passed his objective. So he only have to listen and take note rather than wait until the end and look at each other. I'm like, okay, did I pass or do I need to redo or whatsoever? So good job on that. And next, next on the line is our table topic evaluator. Can I invite Ng Hui Ling, please? The stage is yours for your evaluation report.
Thanks, Joanna. It's first time that people pronounce my name correctly. I'm so happy. Today, I would like to be our table topic evaluator. I will start with the first speaker, Kaisha. I like Kaisha answer her question straightforward. Why she would like to visit New Zealand? I like her cheerful. She answered the question with cheerful, with her good eye contact and good pace. And she looks very comfortable and confident when she delivers her speech. One thing that I would like to recommend to Kaisha, probably because this is an online meeting, probably she could have some hand gestures so that could enhance her speech better. And for the second speaker, Morgan. Well done, Morgan, for volunteer himself to be a second speaker. Volunteering is always good and being so brave. He is always one of the brave to volunteer himself. And I really like Morgan's speech. Very good structure. He even have the summary at the end of his speech. Well done, Morgan. That is, and also his gestures, his delivery are all very well done. I can hardly find any recommendation for Morgan. Normally, when he speaks in our club, he has some small motion like touching his head, and I didn't catch any today, so no recommendation for Morgan. Our third speaker, Kevin. Congratulations for Kevin, also volunteer yourself. When you volunteer yourself, you are the winner already. Well done on that, Kevin. I have only one recommendation for Kevin. Probably you can, because you're not looking at your camera, So when you want to connect to the audience, better connect to the audience, you could actually look at the camera, and that could probably have a better eye contact with the audience. And our third, fourth speaker, Anita, I really like. She looks very confident and have a good gestures. Everything is good. The only recommendation for Anita is at the beginning, she has a bit of hesitate when she deliver her speech, but overall, well done. The next one, Eugene. I really like he answered the question straight away with his iPhone, the old iPhone, and that is the old tech that he has. But I think that is not old enough, Eugene. But that's give me a good hint like what I want to use to my iPhone 4. And the next one, Maggie. Maggie is a very good speaker. She has a very good vocal variety. For example, he said, I want more love. And then she have a higher vocal variety for that one. And the only recommendation for Maggie is eye contact. She doesn't really look at the camera. The next one, Lai. Lai was very good in his delivery as well. He gave a very good answer. The only recommendation is when he first start his speech, he's have a bit of eye looking up a bit, and he's not at the center of the screen. So when you're in the online, so that is something to be aware. Over time. Back to you, Joanna.
Thank you very much, Hui Ling. Something that I learned is that I know that Talking Heads Toastmasters Club can always, one of your program element is that you have to evaluate your speaker in 30 seconds. So this is something that I find it very interesting because I don't think I can do it in 30 seconds to comment on every speaker. But something that I can recommend for the club is maybe on another note, you can also try another method whereby you combine all of their performance and then give a deeper evaluation on the structure of the speech. Because today from your evaluation, I can see that you focus a lot on online presentation, which is the delivery. So this is another method for you guys to give it a try. It's a recommendation. So maybe if you find it useful, you can use it at your meeting as well. So next one, I would like to invite our grammarian. Our grammarian today is Elizabeth Hughes. So can I invite her for her report, grammar report, please? The stage is yours.
Thank you very much to our distinguished Toastmaster Joanna this evening, and I'll give us a brief grammarian report this evening. First of all, thank you so much to those of you who managed to squeeze the word collaboration into either a formal speech or an impromptu speech. We had 4 people who used the word of the day today. That was Hafiz, Dean, Munira, and Morgan. So well done to those people. And there were quite a few people who used marvelous phrases that I made a note of, things that I really enjoyed. Maggie was talking to us about a love journey and said that the more love we give, the more love we will get back. Morgan was also talking to us about love. He was talking to us about being chivalrous, which is a fantastic word, and be in a comfortable relationship with our mistakes. And he told us that mistakes are a blessing. But the knockout person for this evening's meeting, who I think had a real pack punch full of fantastic phrases, was Munurai. And I wrote down 5 and then I stopped writing. But she said, conquer the fear of failure. She spoke about having a cerebral marathon, which I thought was fabulous, a cerebral marathon. She spoke about drowning in anguish and in misery, and that the biggest hurdle to change is procrastination. And last but definitely not least is that practice makes permanent. So lots of words of wisdom there from our Toastmasters this evening. Absolutely loved the use of language. And I'll hand back to you, Joanna.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Very short and concise report. Thank you so much. Next, can I have Toastmaster Amran bin Ali Ahmad for your R counter report, please? The stage is yours, Amran. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Joanna Liu. Here's my report. Morgan, you have 1 on 2. Hafiz, you had, 3 times. Toto, 1 time. Kevin, you have 1 1 R. Anita, you have 2 so, few pause fillers. Right 2 times. Maggie Lee, you had 1 I, 1 IPP line, you have 5 R. That's about it. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Joanna Liu.
Thank you very much, Amra. Very calm counter report we have here. Thank you so much. Next, can I invite back our timer, Julian, for the evaluators timing for tonight? Timer, Julian, please.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. Good evening, everyone, again. I'll just post in the chat the timings. So we actually had 2 there that were exactly to a sort of minute. So Carolina was perfect just before the red light with 3 minutes. Shuan just slightly over time, 3 minutes 30. And Hui Ling, that was a very challenging one in terms of going through all the table topics in 3 minutes, but you did a great job squeezing it all in and just a little bit over time at 4 minutes 21. With Elizabeth just slightly under time, but managed to, I think, cover everything really well in that short amount of time. And then finally, Amran, perfect, exactly 1 minute. So nice work, everyone. And back to you, Joanna.
Thank you very much, Julian. Thank you so much. And now we are at the polling session. I understand that President Melody will be pulling up the poll for our evaluators. So guys, we will have about, yes, so please put down your vote, pick your favorite evaluator. When it's done, Melody, you can just give me a nudge. Okay, all right, very efficient group here. All right, now back to our general remarks. I know that timing is something very particular for Toastmaster, especially talking heads, so I'll keep it to 3 minutes. Okay, competition makes us faster. Collaboration makes us better. So Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club has done a few joint meetings and we learned a lot. And I'm so happy to hear that Talking Heads is also on the running track of collaboration right now, because only through collaboration we can divide the task and multiply the success. And we can see that today at this meeting. So what I observed as a general evaluator is how this 2 club runs their meeting. And I will note down what are the good things and maybe some of the things that we can recommend for each other for better growth. Number 1, for KKTMC, Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club, we meet 2 times a month. That's why we drag our meeting a little bit longer every time. It's about 2.5 hours of meeting every time. For Talking Heads, you meet every week. So you have 1 hour per meeting every time. Very short and precise meeting. That's why timing is like your thing, I can see that. So for how precise is it, I can tell you is from your program element, you have everything planned out in your program element, the roles are explained, even the number of questions for the table topic session is there. I'm like, wow, impressive, I've said. So you keep your timing very, very well. And one thing that I think all of us, the KK Toastmasters Club can learn from you is that you learn how to cut in without offending the speaker. Hello, I'll answer this question. Actually, we're running out of time. I'm like, oh, interesting. This is something that I think we all can learn from you. It's not easy. I can really say that it's not easy. And the skills that you have in running a very short and precise meeting, I think this KKTMC members can use that when we have our AGM or EGM, so we can keep everything short and precise and end on time. So this is something that we learned from you. Thank you very much for sharing. And number 2 things that I learned from your program element is your email. I can see that your email are very general. It is from the president to the next president. So in our club, we always use our personal mail, but in your contact list, all of it is the same for all the top 7. So I find it very interesting so that we can learn for legacy planning for our club member. And for KKTMC, something that I think we have a little bit more fun to play with is we can play with creativity. It's because that we have more time, so we have time to prepare slides, to do all this, to use technology to our advantage. So maybe for Talking Heads Toastmasters Club, this can be something that you can do for your club meetings in the future. Instead of always keeping to 1 hour, something that you can ask yourself is, what do I want my club members to learn this round? So maybe by doing that, you will be able to, you know, enhance the different skills, like how to use the slides, how to make use of merging the Zoom background to you, things like this, to help you to have a better meeting or a more effective meeting. Because I feel that sometimes with all creativity running around, that is where you can have your, you will have different learning skills and also surprises along the way. So this is something that I learned and I can observe at your club meeting and of course ours as well. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to learn from you. With that, I hope everyone has a great session. Thank you. And I'll hand over the control to Dean. Back to you, Dean.
Thank you, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Joanna. Wow, it's been a very interesting and very fun meeting to me. And it has been an honor as an ex-KKTMC member to be the Toastmaster of this afternoon and evening. So I hope you all have enjoyed your time here on this wonderful Sunday. And just before I pass it on to close, I'll just share this because I want to commend Hafiz on using kia ora as a greeting, as a Maori greeting that we have in New Zealand. So kia ora translates to be well. So I will greet everyone here kia ora, and till next time. Back over to you, President Melody.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Dean. Now may I invite you all to unmute yourself, because I would like everyone to give a loud, audible applause and cheer for our fabulous Dean. Well done, well done.
Good job, everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, distinguished Toastmaster Dean, for this such a wonderful meeting, and all the role players for making a fabulous meeting indeed. So for those who may not know, that distinguished Toastmaster Dean is an active ex-member of Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club back in 2012 to 2016. He was even the SAA, the Vice President Membership, and also the Vice President Education for 3 terms. And after moving to New Zealand, he held the position of Division N Director last term, and now he is the VPPR, Vice President Public Relations of Talking Heads Toastmasters Club. So through connection between Dean and our community member, Hafizul, as well as our organizing chair lady, Vice President Education, Winnee, we managed to make this joint meeting happen. It's between the East and West. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Dean once again, and Toastmaster Hafizul and Toastmaster Winnee. Now, moving on to the next segment of the meeting is the award presentation. It is time to reveal the poll results that we voted throughout the meeting. Can we have the slide, Winnee? Great. Now, the most outstanding evaluator that we voted for is, drum roll.
Sorry, table topics first.
Oh, sorry, table topics first then. Okay, it is, come on, drum roll. Who is that? Oh, congratulations to Morgan and Maggie Lee from Talking Heads Toastmasters Club. Yay, it was a tie between you two. Congratulations, y'all. All right, now moving on, we have the next one. So this one is that evaluator, Winnee, or speaker?
Yeah, the evaluator.
All right, great. So the best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Chuan Ziwen from Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you. And now moving on is the best speaker of the meeting. Who is this? Congratulations to Toastmaster Winnee. And this completed her level 1 pathway of innovative planning. Congratulations, Winnee. And well done to all speakers and role players once again. Now, next segment of the meeting is, I would like to invite some guests to share their thoughts about this meeting. It can be your feelings or what you like or any points of improvement for this joint meeting. So first, may I have our Division K Director of District 87, Toastmaster Joanna Tang, to give a few words.
Thank you, President Melody. Greetings from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, to President Anup and other members who attend this meeting. This is the beauty of online meeting. Just with one click and sitting at your comfort at your home or your office, we are managed to meet and we managed to make this joint meeting happen. What I love about this meeting is the collaboration of both clubs on how you manage your time for this meeting to happen, and also how you delegate the role players. I believe it definitely creates some excitement when the speakers and evaluators are evaluating or being evaluated by someone you meet for the first time. I believe this joint meeting definitely gives both club and audience, especially us and myself, a new learning experience. So thank you for having me today and hope to see you all again in a future meeting. Back to you, Melody.
Thank you, Division K Director Joanna Tang. It's indeed an eye-opening experience for me as well. And I'm sure it is also for the Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club members. Moving on, I would like to invite President Luis from Kidurong Toastmasters Club to give some comments.
All right, thank you very much, President Melody. So first thing first, if you can see my background, I still remember the last time I was in New Zealand back in 2016. So this was the Apache that I saw and I fall in love instantly. And I went to the Hobbiton as well. And I saw the Maori people. So that's my trip to New Zealand. I would recommend everyone, if you are not in New Zealand and never been before, plan a trip to New Zealand. It's definitely worth your time after the pandemic is over. Okay, one thing that I learned from today is actually from Morgan. I learned from him that you don't need to worry about making mistakes. Just learn to laugh at them. That's how you progress in life. I believe that speaks truly even in Toastmasters as well. Don't be afraid to make mistakes during your speeches, during your table topic, or even during your role playing, because there's always next time and you can always improve that. So thank you, Kota Kinabalu Toastmaster Club and Talking Heads Toastmaster Club for having me today. I truly enjoy my afternoon with all of you. Thank you very much. Back to you, President Melody.
Thank you, President Luis. Indeed, that never be afraid to make mistakes, but just learn from them. Now, moving on, I'd like to invite immediate past President Lai from Toyan Toastmasters Club.
Thank you, President Melody. I find this a joint meeting is always a good thing. There's one reason: cross-cultural learning together. Because everyone is in Division K, we go to each club, we learn from each other. But if we travel outside more than our division, the district, we learn more from each other of the members around the world in the Toastmaster. That's why joint meeting is always a good initiative in the Toastmaster learning progress. That's my opinion. And I would like to hand the session back to you, President Melody. And congratulations, KK Toastmaster Club and Talking Heads Toastmaster Club for a successful joint meeting.
Thank you, immediate past President Lai. Now for the closing remarks, I would like to share some thoughts about the theme of this meeting, Durians and Kiwis. So, of course, by names, it itself may sound irrelevant, and there are different species, there are different items from different countries and culture. They don't seem to fit in together. However, putting an example here, Marvel's The Avengers, they may not sound like a team in the beginning as well. Captain America and Iron Man, they don't see eye to eye. And there were many disagreements and conflicts before any fights or war that they're about to begin. But in the end, they learned one lesson, which is one is better than one, means one team is better than one person. A group of 5 can probably accomplish more than a person alone. But it's when those 5 people work together as a team, and that's when magic happens. I'm sure that's how we Toastmasters do it as well. With the collaboration between Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club and Talking Heads Toastmasters Club, we all gain some more new experience and also more insight about how we are going to further develop ourselves. As Henry Ford once said, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is a progress, and working together is success. With that, I would like to thank you all for spending your Sunday, either afternoon or your Sunday evening with us today. And please join us at Talking Heads Toastmasters Club next meeting on tomorrow, and also Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club next meeting on the 24th August. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a great week ahead. And Keldar, take care. Have a great week ahead, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye. Happy weekend.
Bye, everyone.